Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, it's going to be a lot more casual. I have zero makeup on. I just finished taking a shower. I did my skincare. I have my retinol on and I just have some glasses. You can see my dirty makeup brushes in the back there. So I'm just going to be doing a general declutter of my makeup collection, but I'm just going to be primarily focusing on eyeshadow palettes, a couple cheek products, and then some base products that are either expired or I just don't use it anymore. So yeah. So you guys know the drill, so grab your tea, coffee, or toilet paper and let's just get started. So I keep the majority of my makeup over here and we're basically going to be decluttering everything in this drawer. So it has some face palettes and it has a lot of my eyeshadow palettes. Alrighty, so here we have all the palettes from the drawer. I also did add some additional palettes or just makeup items that I've been on the fence about keeping, and just to add this in just to fully declutter all of that. So let's just start with the items that I know for sure that I'm going to be keeping. So I'm for sure going to be keeping the Natasha Denona Diamond Blush palette for sure. It's really just such a beautiful palette. I haven't really played too much with the creams, but I love the highlighters in here and I actually really love this blush when I'm a lot tanner. So I'm going to be keeping this. And I'm also for sure going to be keeping the Tarte Beauty palette just because it's such a, I feel like this is a classic now. So it has the glitter shades on the very top that are super glittery. My only issue with this is that anytime I use any of the top row, I have so much fallout. Like within a couple hours, this glitter is all over my cheeks. So that is not a cute look, but I love the shimmers. I love the mattes. So let me go through my Anastasia palettes really quick. So I have 3 Anastasia palettes. So I have the Modern Renaissance, I have the Soft Glam, and then I have the Master Palette by Mario. I'm for sure gonna keep the Master Palette by Mario just because I love the colors in here. It's a very me palette, very neutral. It's just really gorgeous and it was limited edition, so I wanted to keep this one. And then next it's going to be between these two. So let's just look at this. Honestly, between these two, I definitely like Soft Glam more. I used to really like the Modern Renaissance palette, but I honestly just don't gravitate towards it anymore. So I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. Next, let's just go with the KathleenLights palettes that I have. So I have these ones right over here. So the Morphe and KathleenLights collab was actually one of my first ever like YouTube makeup collab products that I bought, and I love it. I use it to death. I know it doesn't look like it, but this shade in the middle especially I used all the time. This palette was my go-to going out night palette, so I don't know, it just holds a lot of sentimental value. The reason why I just haven't been using it is because of course like I have so many other eyeshadow palettes, but I definitely want to use this more, so I'm going to keep this one. And then let me just open these ones. So this face palette I just recently got, well not recently, but I got it about maybe 6 or 7 months ago, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. It's just gorgeous. You have some blushes, a really nice highlighter, and a bronzer in here as well, so I love this. The Dream Street palette, the color story is really right up my alley. I love neutrals, I love browns, bronzes. It's just, I have so many other palettes that can duplicate these colors right here that I use the most. So it's like the shiny ones and this one. And I did rearrange it. So if it does look slightly different, it's just because I rearranged the actual eyeshadows. But I don't use this enough, so I'm definitely going to give this away. And then we have the Zodiac palette. I think I'm going to put this in my maybe pile just because I do like the pops of color on here, and I've seen the looks that other people have created using these colors and I actually find it really fun. And I just love the overall theme of this palette. It does have a mirror, and yeah, like especially I love the color, the Libra and the Scorpio. I just really like these 3 colors. I adore. So I'm going to put this in the maybe pile and we'll go over it at the end. Next, let's just do some small quads. So I have the Natasha Denona Mini Star palette. So I initially bought this just for this middle shade right over here, but I just don't really use this palette enough to really make it worthwhile. I tend to gravitate towards my other palettes, so as much as it pains me, because this little thing was $25, I'm going to put it in the giveaway pile. Let's see. Oh, so I have this Park Avenue Princess bronzer. So this is what it looks like. So it has some highlighting shades, some contour shades, and some bronzer shades. These two shades were honestly just a little too dark for me, so I never used this. And I did sometimes use this one to highlight underneath my eyes, but it was a little bit drying. So I don't use this anymore at all. I love the packaging. I love how heavy it is. The mirror, it was just great. I love that the mirror can stand on its own like this. Like you can just adjust it to do your makeup and stuff like that, but I just don't use this. So let me just do the Tarte palettes that I have. So I have the Whitney and Tarte palette, and then I have the Tartelette and Bloom palette. I'm honestly going to keep this one just because I love Whitney Simmons. I just want to support her endlessly, and yeah, this highlight in here is amazing, so I'm going to keep this one. And I do have a lot of other eyeshadow palettes that I can use for neutrals, so I'm gonna give this a better home. Alrighty, let me just go through my Urban Decay palettes. So I have the Born to Run palette and then the Naked Heat. I definitely want to get rid of one of these. I think I'm going to keep the Born to Run palette just because I love the size of the mirror. I feel like this is really good for travel, and it does have some other colors, so I'm gonna keep this one. And then I think I'm gonna give this one away, but I really just love these mattes right over here, and I know they have the smaller one, but I don't want to buy another eyeshadow palette, so I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. And then I have this Too Faced Bonbon Chocolate Bar palette. I initially bought this just because I love this pink right over here, but I just never use this anymore, so for sure easy goodbye. Oh, I have this Lorac Pro palette. This one is an OG. Everyone on YouTube used to use this maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. I did hit pan on the highlighting shade in here, but this used to be my go-to everyday palette, but I just don't use this anymore, and it's just really old. I think it's still actually pretty pigmented, so you can see that, but I don't know, I think this is just pretty old. Maybe I should just throw this away, I don't know. Alrighty, so I have the Natasha Denona Lila palette, and obviously it has these gorgeous purples in it. The pigmentation on it is amazing. I don't know, I just don't reach for this enough to make it worth it. I don't really play with colors day to day, so I think I'm gonna put this in my maybe pile, and we're gonna decide later. I also have this Sephora collab right over here. It has MAC Harmony and MAC Emphasize. This color is way too light for me. I bought it because Jaclyn Hill swears by it, but I am a lot darker than Jaclyn Hill is. This color is just, it literally looks white. Like it's pretty, it's white. It's not even like slightly peachy, but I think I'm just gonna keep this just because it has my Tarte Tipsy blush in here, so I could potentially use this for travel, so I'm gonna keep this even though I rarely use this. Oh, next I have this super old Laura Mercier eyeshadow palette. This was like special edition. It has like the zebra design. I used to love this color right over here, but this palette is really old, so I think I'm just gonna throw it away. Next I have these 3 NARS. So first I have this small NARS eyeshadow. It's in the color Charade. I do have another NARS duo in the color Isolde, but I love that one. I use it all the time. So this is just kind of like a muted purple mauve color right over here, so don't use this. And then I have this Narcissist eyeshadow palette. This actually used to be my everyday eyeshadow palette. I actually love the different textures in here. You have shimmers, mattes, and then you have some glitters. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile too. We'll see. This is so good for travel, so. Oh, I have this NARS blush palette that when I first bought it, I thought it would be my go-to blush palette, but I don't know, the pigmentation on this isn't very good. And I just have a lot of other blushes that I like more. This is what it looks like. It's a very muted pink palette. I think this would be really good for people with fair skin tones. I also have this Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions palette. It's one of their mini eyeshadow palettes. I initially bought it just because I wanted something coral and I didn't feel like I had it in my collection, and then I bought it and I realized I never wear this, so automatically I'm just gonna put it in the giveaway pile. Yeah, this is really sad how much I wasted money, because right after I bought this I probably used it twice and then I never used it again. And then really quick, these are really old, but I actually have these two palettes right here that I just want to show that I'm going to give away. So I have the Pixie and Dulce Candy highlighting palette. I actually really did like this. The pigmentation on everything was really great. I thought I could depot it, and this is what happens. You can't depot these palettes. But it's really pretty. The pigmentation is really good, but yeah, I just don't use it, so. And then this one is super old. I literally just bought it because of this ombre effect, and it just looks like this, but I don't use it. It's part of the VDL, which is a Korean brand, and it's like their Panettone Color of the Year eyeshadow palette. It's nice, but I just don't use it, so. And then next I have the KKW Classic Blossom palette. So the color story is just kind of like these nice pinks and bronzy colors, but it's like very muted. It's actually a really pretty palette, and I actually do like to use these two colors together as a contour color. I'm actually going to keep this. I really do like this. And then I actually took some items out of my drawer that I am thinking about, and then this is MAC's Gleaming Blush. So it's basically a highlighter that has a pink gold shift to it, but it's very similar to my MAC Pony collab highlighter. So I have used a good amount of this. You can see I've clearly made an indentation, but it's too similar to the Pony one, so I'm just gonna toss it. And then I also have this Becca highlighter in the shade Prismatic Amethyst. I honestly just bought it because the packaging was lilac, and I thought that I would love it because I love lilac, but I never use this. And honestly, the pigmentation on it isn't great, so giving away as well. And then this is the Guerlain Terracotta Bronzer. If you can see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it is super messy because I actually had to take a spoolie and scrape off the top, because I noticed as you use this, it starts to get that hard film that disables you from picking up product. So that's why it's really messy. But it is actually a really nice warm bronzer, but it is more catered towards, I think, people with fair skin tones. So I'm gonna put this in my maybe pile, but it is part of their limited edition, one of their collections like a couple years ago. And then over here I have another limited edition product. It's a Laura Mercier face palette. It's a highlighting palette with their highlighters. I actually love this highlighting palette. The only reason why I'm thinking of giving it away is because I just have so many other highlighters. I just don't need this many highlighters. So this is really pretty. I'm going to give it to a better home. If they re-release this palette, I highly recommend people to get it. It's gorgeous. Let me just show you a little swatch. I'm going to take this color right over here. It's really pretty. Alrighty, so I actually have 4 eyeshadow palettes left. So let me just open all of them up. Alright, so the first eyeshadow palette I have is the Pat McGrath Bronze Sublime palette. I think that's what this is called. The pigmentation on these eyeshadows are amazing, super smooth, super creamy, super blendable. I don't like the packaging. It is aesthetically pleasing, but it's just so bulky and unnecessary. And on top of that, these 3 colors, well, technically these 4 colors, or actually even these 5 colors, I have them in other palettes, which is why I don't gravitate towards this, but the pigmentation is amazing. I wish Pat McGrath actually sold like single eyeshadows, and then you could create your own palette, which would be superb. And then the next palette I have is a MAC quad that I made. So it has All That Glitters, Amber Lights, bronze, and then I think this is like, but it has an inner corner highlight color, it has a gold, a deep bronze, and then kind of like a taupey shimmery color. So all 4 of these colors are shimmery. And then I have the Estee Lauder Raisins palette. I remember this was sold out everywhere because Zoella, back in the day, her first everyday makeup tutorial, she featured this eyeshadow and everybody bought it, including me. It's basically kind of like a cranberry color with a pink, but I just don't use this anymore, so for sure I'm not gonna give this one away. And then I have this eyeshadow palette that my friend gave to me for my birthday. It is unique. There is a cream in here, and I actually really do like this brand. It's a Japanese, like, more natural brand, so I'm going to keep this just because of sentimental. She's really sweet. But I'm definitely going to give away one of these just because they're very similar. I honestly think I'm going to keep the MAC just because it's so portable and the colors are very similar, and then I'm actually going to give away this Pat McGrath palette, which is so sad because it's so beautiful, but I just never use it. let's just go over my maybes really quick. So these were my 3 maybes: the Modern Renaissance palette, the Zodiac palette, and the Lila palette. The only reason that I might want to keep this is honestly just because it's such a collector's piece. This is my only Natasha Denona palette, and I actually do want to buy one more Natasha Denona palette, but I just don't use this enough, is why. I think I'm gonna try to sell this for maybe like $30, and if someone doesn't buy it, then I'll just give it away. But yeah, just because this was so expensive. And then the Modern Renaissance palette, I think I'm honestly just gonna give it away just because I do really like it, but I just don't use it enough. I would rather hit pan on other eyeshadow palettes, so I'm gonna close this chapter. This is honestly like such a collector's piece, but gotta be tough. And then here is the KathleenLights Zodiac palette. I actually really do like this because of the pops of color, and I do like this color story right over here. So I actually think I'm gonna keep this. Maybe I'll declutter it again, but I'm gonna try to get more use out of this palette. Honestly, I think we've done really well here, and let me just show you all the items that I'm going to be keeping. So these are all the palettes that I'm going to be keeping, and these are all the palettes that I'm going to be giving away. So yay. Alrighty, so this is where I keep some of my other makeup. I know it's really dirty. I'm super sorry. So I just wanted to see if I can declutter anything else. So I have the Hourglass powder, Beauty Bakery powder, which I do both love. And then I actually do use this one for travel, but I don't like this RMS Beauty powder, so I'm going to declutter it. And then, so let's see, I think I'm going to declutter this NARS stick just because it's kind of old. I have it in the shade Barcelona, so I'm gonna, because cream products you should declutter after at least like 3 years or something, or maybe it's even like 1. And then I'm gonna declutter this one as well because this one is, I think, like 2 years old too. I hate the smell of this, but the finish of this foundation is actually really nice. But I'm gonna declutter this. And then the rest, I think I'm still gonna keep. And then these are some of my other bases that don't fit in this drawer or the drawer over there. So this I actually bought last year. It's in the shade Dune 7.5. I think I'm just gonna declutter this just because it's old. So, and then this one, I bought it because of Jacqueline Hill. She recommended this, and I don't know, for my skin, it's supposed to be really dewy and hydrating, but for me it looked really cakey and dry, so I'm just gonna toss this. But I love the concealer version of this, but I don't like the foundation. And then this one, I actually do really like this foundation. The only thing, it's too light for me right now, so I'm gonna keep it until winter time. I have it in the shade 3W. And then I have the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is actually my second time buying it. The first time I tried it, I returned it because I didn't like it. But then Whitney Simmons raved about this foundation. This was one of her holy grails. So that's why I decided to retry it. But yeah, it didn't work for me. The shade match is actually spot on. I have it in natural beige, but I just don't use it. It's sitting around, so I'm just going to declutter it. You can see, like, I barely used it. So I think I'm decluttering all of this. And then I have these 2 tinted moisturizers by 100% Pure. When I used to work for them, like as a retail associate, this was like years ago when I was still in college, I really liked their tinted moisturizer, but they reformulated it, I think, and they also changed the packaging, and I don't know, it doesn't sit well with my skin. I keep trying to use it to make it work just because it was so expensive. I mean, just both of these were each, I think, like $45 or so, and for it to not work, even though the ingredients are really good, I can't bring myself to keep it. So I think I'm going to declutter this. Maybe I can find one of my friends that it'll work better for. I'm actually going to declutter this Tatcha eye cream as well. Do you see the dust on it? It's because I don't use this, and I think I got this like months ago, but every time I try to use this, it just makes my under eyes look so dry. It does not look good. So I'm going to declutter this as well. I actually have another drawer full of bases, so let me just pull it out really quick. Oh, this. Okay. So the Thrive Cosmetics, again, I bought this because Whitney Simmons recommended it. I don't know why, it doesn't look good on me. It always looks cakey and everybody loves this, but I can't get on with it. So I've used a good amount, so I don't think I'm going to give this away. I think I'm just going to throw it out. Alrighty, so these are all the bases that I'm going to be decluttering, and then this eye cream and this powder. So alrighty guys, so we have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this little declutter. I'm actually really proud of the progress I made. The drawers look completely different now. The before and after, it's a night and day difference. And I probably will be doing a makeup collection video soon. Even though my collection isn't large by any means, I'm still very proud of my makeup collection. I really like the products that I've curated into my makeup collection. Of course, there are still other products that I do want to add, but yeah, so look forward to that. Like always, don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe. It really helps support my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.